Howdy, 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 guys. How are y'all doing? Welcome to December, the first Monday of December. Man, what a quick year it's been. I think back to the very beginning this year, and I was sitting there thinking, man, the vaccines are coming out for COVID. We're about done with that stuff. Things are going to get back to normal, and it's just been a strange year, right? We're still fighting that freaking virus and everything else. But hey, you know what? Everyone's surviving. I hope y'all are doing fantastic this evening. Before I check the comments and see who's out here, let me just give a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love all of y'all out here. I love the reality TV fans around the world as well. And thank you for the support. I appreciate it so much. I hope y'all are doing well this evening. Let's see who we got here. Before I start talking about stories and things like that, Elisha, howdy, Elisha. Lawrence Santiago, happy Hanukkah. Yeah, can't forget the Hanukkah part as well. We're celebrating all kinds of little holidays right now. Ma is angry. Hey, Ma, how are you out there? Jake the Snake. Hey, Jake, welcome aboard. Marilyn Sutherland as well. You're right. Hey, all happy holidays. Absolutely happy holidays to all of y'all. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah. And if there's another holiday or two I'm missing in there, it's not intentional. Happy enjoyment, happy times to everyone. All aboard. All right, let's see. Mark Taylor, can you explain to this old man the gist of the challenge? The gist of the challenge? Are you talking about the TV show? You know what the challenge is? It's just a matter of let's give someone the hardest possible physical challenges and see how they do, and then throw a little betrayal and backstabbing in. It's different from Big Brother, but kind of the format's a little bit the same. You know, it's all about being the last person to survive. Little more focused, I feel like, on the challenge on the physical competitions as opposed to Big Brother. There's a little more competitions that involve things other than just pure brute force and a little more strategy. I feel like they probably argue with me, but my own personal feeling. Yeah, Ms. Pina Phantom, Kwanzaa as well. Yes, happy Kwanzaa. I never really know when Kwanzaa is. Is it a set day, or is it kind of vary a little bit like Hanukkah does, where sometimes it's a little earlier, sometimes it's a little bit later? I don't know, but yeah, I didn't mean to leave Kwanzaa out at all. So yeah, thank you for the reminder. I appreciate it. Lawrence Sandiego, that's Cliff's house. Well, no, but that'd be pretty cool. A barn and a house and a snowman with a cowboy hat. Yeah, that works for me. Julia Stan, love the background. Thank you so much. It's December. So before Thanksgiving, I said, nah, not doing it. Not talking Christmas, not doing any of that. Now that it's Christmas, now that it's December, I feel like we're okay doing it. So yeah, kind of throwing in a few Christmas themes here or there. Now, this sure as heck ain't Texas that y'all are looking at behind me. Not only did we not have snow, it's just been dang hot. We're going to talk about that in a second. But let me look at a few comments as I go through here. Anna Cano, what do you think of the latest episode of Survivor? Another good episode. I try not to give spoilers on here. Tribal Council wasn't quite as crazy as some of the past ones with people running all around and whispering at the last moment and everything else. But it was interesting. They had a little bit of a game of chance and involve, a person, and I'm going to try to not throw out names, but the whole idea that someone could potentially go home just because they picked wrong on a random draw is rough. What a hard, you would just spend the rest of your days thinking, why didn't I just pick this box or do something else? That was tough. I really like the way Survivor is shaping up. Really, there's 6 people left? Yeah, six people left. Of those 6 people, there's really only one person that I kind of say, well, I'm not sure she necessarily needs to be getting to the top 2, and that's Heather. Nothing against Heather. She hasn't really led strategically or competition wise. Anyone else that's still left, I'd be fine with them winning. I've really enjoyed the cast. The people who did the casting for Survivor this season, top notch. I've loved it. I think I say that just about every week, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Ma's saying I thought Kwanzaa was December 26th. Ma, you may be right. And Lawrence is saying it's on 26th. Okay, well, thank you. So I didn't miss it. I just hadn't quite got ready for it as well as some of the others. I'll have to reach out to Nicole Anthony and tell her happy Kwanzaa and happy birthday all rolled into one, since that's her birthday as well. So there you go. Mark Richards. Cliff, I think you should have won. You were genuinely were the best person to compete in BB21. Absolutely robbed. Well, I appreciate it. Absolutely robbed. Yeah, I don't know. It worked out the way it did. I went in. I don't know if they ever showed it on the diary rooms because I haven't seen my whole season yet. I guess I need to do that. But towards the end, I know I went in and talked in the diary room. I said, I really feel like if I can make it to the final two, I think I can win this thing. But to get there, I need to win one more challenge. This was after the double eviction where I'd won veto. I said, I think I need one more win in the rest of these challenges. And I think that's going to be enough for me to make some things happen and make it to the end. I didn't get that final win that I needed. And I do think that if I just won that veto or that last HOH, well, everything would have been a little different. But that's all right. So thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I'll tell you this, I gave it the best I could. I played 100% in that game, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. I was just kind of proud that, look at me. Me up against Mickey, Jackson Mickey. He was a comp beast. I was something a little less than that, although I did win a few of them. So, it was a lot of fun. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Lawrence is saying, in hindsight, what would have been a good point to get rid of Mitchie? That's tough because I've thought about it. I've thought about in that double eviction because I really considered the idea when I won that veto. I could have pulled Christy off, and because I didn't want to pull Tommy off because he was friendly with everyone, and I thought it was a lot less likely he would keep me around. But I thought if I pull Christy off so she can't go home, Nicole's probably going to then put Jackson Mickey up in his place. Holly would vote to send Tommy out the door. Christy would vote to send Mickey out the door. And it would be old Boss Hog making the final decision either way. And at that point, I thought, well, if I do that, I theoretically could then send Mickey home. The problem was if I'd done that, then suddenly I've got Christy and Tommy, who both had talked forever about wanting to get me out. And I know they would have kept Nicole over me. They probably would have kept Holly over me as well. It just didn't make sense to do that. So I don't know. I don't know if there was ever the best time to get him out was during that final veto competition when we had the final four, and we came close. Nicole came so close to beating him. And if she had done that, since she was HOH, she couldn't have voted. It would have been up to me, and I would have sent him out the door. But it just didn't work out. That's all right. Hey, it's one of those things. All right, Ma's saying my microwave works. Yay, has been having power issues for the past 2 hours. Wow. Well, tough to not have a microwave, but funny that you should mention that, Ma. Did y'all know what today is? It's as though Ma and I talk ahead of time, which we didn't. Today, not in history, today is National Microwave Day. It could be International Microwave Day for all I know. I don't know, but today is Microwave Day. Some of y'all won't remember. Some of you will. I remember when my family got the first microwave oven. How old was I? I was probably 10, 12, so mid-70s, something like that. We were so excited. It was probably even a little older than that. It's probably late 70s, but we were so excited. We got this microwave. It's huge. It looked like, I don't know, huge. Several feet across, this gigantic thing. It was loud, but we were so excited. We probably paid who knows how many hundreds of dollars for it, but we were so excited when we got it. We got it home. And all the things we wanted to cook, my mom was excited about that. My brother and I, we just wanted it to fix nachos. The idea that we could take a bunch of chips and put little pieces of cheese on it and have in just 15 or 20 seconds that cheese melt and have nachos. We thought that was 21st century technology there. So yeah, we were pretty excited about that. Did y'all know the first, and I don't want to get into too much of history, but did y'all know the first microwave was invented in like 1945? Well, not invented, discovered, I guess. Some engineer working on microwaves on radar realized that whenever he got close to this one radar machine, a chocolate bar that he had in his coat pocket or his shirt pocket started melting. And he back away, and then later he got again and it melted even more. And he started realizing that these beams were cooking the food in his shirt pocket. Now that would make me a little nervous about the whole rest of my body as well, right? Yeah, I don't think the microwave stopped right here, but he started experimenting with it. They did the patent for just a few months later. So 1945 was the patent. The first microwave oven commercial was like in the 40s, late 40s. Can y'all believe that? I guarantee my family, my grandparents certainly did not have microwave ovens. But there you go. A lot earlier than I thought. But yeah, so excited to have microwave. We thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Forget TVs with 100 and something channels or video games that look like you're in the real world or cell phones. We just liked having something that would melt in 15 or 20 seconds. So I thought that was pretty cool. Got rid of popcorn. Yeah, new ways to cook popcorn, new ways to, nachos, and everything else. So there you go. So thank you, Ma, for that little segue on that. Right and Rhyme. You should try it for Survivor or The Circle. And then Michelle Moore saying you should try it for Wipeout. All right. Well, I kind of feel like Wipeout would be right up my alley. I'd be running across those big balls and not having any. Yeah, right. I'd be falling all over. Wipeout would be fun because they don't take themselves too seriously. Because Lord knows I wouldn't be too serious on that thing. I'd be laughing and having a blast. But I watch Wipeout and I kind of think, now there's a few. For those of you who haven't watched it, I don't know. It's just a silly challenge. You have to run a little obstacle course, and then you have to hold on to, jump as little pillars are swinging around, things like that. And it's not easy. It's an athletic challenge, but it's a bunch of silly jokes going on and everything. Here's what I didn't realize. I've watched Wipeout. That was one of my favorite ones. Who's that guy? The two Johns that are the host on there. I don't remember the last names. They're hilarious. There's also a Wipeout Canada, and there's a Wipeout Australia. And I think they all film them at the same location over there in Southern California somewhere. But I guess they just find expats from Canada or Australia that happen to be living in the LA area, and they get them to do it. But yeah, all kinds of countries have Wipeout. That'd be fun. I've talked it before. Survivor. Yeah, I'd love to do Survivor. I'd love to do Amazing Race, either one. And I think I'd do pretty well at it. I mean, I'm a good swimmer. I carry a lot of weight. I'm good strategic. So I think I'd do well at that one. Amazing Race. I've traveled all over the world. I think I'd do pretty well at that. Circle. I don't know. I could never fake my way into pretending like I was some 20-year-old woman from New York or something like they do on that show. There's no way. I would get tripped up so many times. I'd use the wrong language and all of that. Can y'all picture me doing a lot of emojis and emojis and FOMO this and FOMO that, and yeah, they'd figure me out real quick. It is going to be fun. Hearts of Reality is coming, and we're going to talk about it some more in a second. But Hearts of Reality is coming up on Thursday and all this coming up weekend. So I'm going to be over in Orlando visiting with all these reality people from all these different TV shows. And I know some of the people from The Circle are going to be there. Shuby from season 1 is going to be there. And I've talked to him before, just at DMs and stuff. A really nice guy. And I'm looking forward to meeting him. So yeah, I don't know if Circle would not necessarily be, I'd do it if they asked me to, but I don't know if The Circle is much. I'd hate to just be in an apartment by myself and not have anyone at all to talk to. Y'all saw me in the Big Brother house. I was having to resort to going into that room and doing my Cliff Notes. Man, I'd be in a circle. I'd just be talking to y'all. Even if I knew y'all aren't watching, I'd be just talking all day long just to those cameras because I'd be so bored and frustrated not having anyone else in there to talk with. That'd be hard. That'd be really hard. All right, MD. I remember when they first came out, making popcorn was all the rage at my house. Yeah, they used to have the little frying pan looking thing with the aluminum foil on the top, and you put it on the stove and it opened up, looked like a big old chef's hat, and you cut it open, and that was pretty cool, but not nearly as cool as putting a little bowl of popcorn in that microwave and letting those microwaves kick in and pop that thing, in the span of just a few minutes. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Amanda saying, I think Cliff should try it for Jeopardy. You know what? I watch Jeopardy. We watch it almost every day. And I get to some categories and I get everyone. And I think, oh, man, I'm so smart. I'd be so great in this game. And then they get to 17th century operas or 16th century European rulers. And yeah, I don't get any of that stuff right. And books of the Bible. And there's so many areas that they start asking us, well, I don't know. I don't have a clue. So yeah, I have a feeling that I could do Jeopardy and I'd either look amazing or I'd look incredibly not so intelligent on that show. It'd be fun. I am amazed at some of the people there on the show and some of the questions they get right. It just blow. It's like, how do you know that? Did you just memorize that? That some battle occurred in 1262 AD over in Greece or somewhere, and you just happen to know the general at the time. blows me away some of the stuff they know sometimes. Michelle Moore say, oh, weren't they called radar ranges? It could be. I don't know when they started calling them microwaves. I don't know. Radar ranges versus microwaves. They both sound kind of dangerous and scary, right? I'm surprised that someone didn't come up with some niftier name, quick cookers or easy beams or something like that seemed a little less dangerous than microwaves. X-rays. I guess back then we weren't as worried about all of that stuff. Nowadays, candy bar starts melting my pocket. Unless I'm outdoor in the heat and there's a good reason for it, I'm going to be just a little bit nervous about that, right? All right, let's see. Let me look at some of these questions. Mark Richards, Cliff, what was it like inside the house? Are you under a NDA, non-disclosure agreement, that prevents you from saying what went on in there? No, not really. I mean, I think I signed my life away for some stuff. I can't talk about how, the casting and some things like that. But for the most part, inside the house, it's just what y'all saw. What you didn't see necessarily, Mark, was just all the just drawn out days where there's nothing at all going on, where you're so bored and everyone does different things to try to relieve that boredom. I know this past season they had the blue comfy couch or whatever they call it, the big blue couch. And, for me, I went in, did Cliff Notes and all that. And, we had cornhole in the backyard, but we only had the backyard for a couple of days a week. And the rest of the time it was shut down because they were building sets and everything. So now it's like you see, Mark, there's no hidden anything. It was a whole lot of us just staying up all day, tired and looking at the only clock we had was on the stove and saying, oh my God, we got 5 more hours before we're allowed to go to bed. And here comes 10 o'clock when we're allowed to go to sleep. And everyone stays up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. One, because they're worried if they go to bed, people will talk about them or conspire against them. So you want to stay up and involved in all the conversations. But 2, I don't know. I think they pumped extra oxygen in at night just to get us all wide awake and keep us up as long as possible. But there was a lot of just waiting around, Mark. What happened in the house that you don't see? I don't know. It's more little things like looking up and seeing the ceilings and seeing the lights everywhere and all the microphones hanging down. And sometimes just getting reminded that, yeah, it looks like a house, but it's still a studio. There's still all these people behind the walls. And every once in a while we're sitting there talking, have a conversation, and behind the wall I'd hear like a little wheel or camera or something, and it would just be a reminder that there's I guess it's time for some football. It'd be a reminder that there were people paying attention to everything you did in there. That was the toughest part, Mark, was just knowing that there was zero privacy while you're in the house. So that was, but yeah, it's something you got used to after just a few days. Julia Shepard had a job testing microwaves for Lytton. Did it for college money. Well, Julia, that sounds pretty cool, but depending on how you tested them, it could also sound a little bit dangerous. I hope it wasn't a matter of you saying, here, let me hold this block of cheese. Now y'all shoot the radar and I'll tell you when it starts warming up or something. Or, I'll tell you when I don't feel like I need to be wearing this coat anymore because it's feeling a little toasty in there. Yeah, okay. I want to hear a little bit more about how you tested microwaves, because that sounds like a heck of a story for sure. So here's what you did that for money in college. Y'all want to know what I did for money in college? Well, I did a few things, but here's one thing I did while I was in college to make a little money. I ate meatloaf. Yes, indeed. I was a food tester in college. Can you believe it? Yeah, y'all probably said, yeah, we can believe it. I was a food tester. I saw an advertisement in the student newspaper saying we're looking for people to help with food testing. And here I am, a poor college student. I thought, well, this is great. I can kind of get free lunch and I get paid for it. And so I went over to the food sciences laboratory they had on campus and checked in, and you would go inside and they'd have different foods for you. Sometimes it would be dark, so you couldn't actually see the food. They'd say, all right, it's right in front of you. There's 3 plates. We want you to tell us only based on taste what you think about it. Other times they'd want you to just look at something and tell them how does it look appearance-wise. And one I always remember, though, is they had like 8 different types of meatloaf. They said, we want you to taste it, and we want you to taste test it. Tell us what you think. Which one tastes, has the best flavor, which one tastes the spiciest, the least spicy, all kinds of stuff we had to describe. Well, everyone else is in there taking the fork and taking a little bite of each. It's like they're wine tasters or something. They're just taking a little bit, cleaning their palate in between. That be, I'm taking a big old fork of one, moving on to the next one, get all the way through the line, and then saying, hey, I need to reevaluate, go back, start over again. By the time I got done, I'd finished up as much meatloaf as I could fit in, because that was my lunch for the day. That's probably my dinner for the day lots of times as well. So load myself up on sometimes interesting food, sometimes pretty good foods. And then as I'd walk out the door, they'd give me a check for, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 bucks, maybe 20. It wasn't a whole lot, but hey, it was a free lunch, and you never knew what kind of food you're going to get. So I did that. I did flu testing as well. I did all kinds of stuff in college. Just a little here. I delivered pizzas. We'll talk about stories on that one of these days. But I was a pizza delivery guy for a little while also. All right, what else? Lori Line. Oh, have you had any more problem with your bees? No, I got worried about it, Lori, because at one point I noticed a lot of bees flying around. In fact, there's 2 times. One, I had a lot of bees flying around where the bees had been, and I called my beekeeper. It's pretty bad when you've got a beekeeper on speed dial in your phone, right? But I do. I'm not getting burned again or stung again, I guess is a better phrase. I called the beekeeper and said, hey, I'm getting a little nervous. I'm seeing a lot of bees up where this beehive was. And he said, as long as you don't see them going in anywhere, that's fine. They're just smelling the honey. They're trying to find some way to get in. But as long as it should be just a few days and they'll leave again. And they did. So I was very happy with that. The other time I saw a lot of bees in the backyard, and I was like, uh-oh, do they have another hive somewhere? Well, no, it's because they were pollinating my loofahs, because loofahs flower all summer long into the early fall. And it just got to the point where the loofahs were the only things that had a lot of flowering out just the last few weeks. And so all the bees, probably for neighborhoods all around, were all going to my loofahs to get the pollen. And doing a lot of pollinating as well. As long as they leave, I'm a huge fan of bees. They're so important. We're losing so many of them. If I had more land and more time and more money, a whole lot of mores to do it, but it'd be fun to be a beekeeper. And you get to wear those funky little costumes as well, right? I think it'd be cool to be a beekeeper. Just whenever you want honey, go out in the backyard and grab you a handful, and built-in sweets from the back. So yeah, now bees have left me alone, and I'm fine with that. Too many of those killer bees. I've seen too many of those old TV shows of the killer bees as well. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about it, but now they've left me alone. So my beekeeper did what he needed to do. Let's see what else. Julia saying, have they announced the next Big Brother date or cast? And then Travel the World saying it starts February 2nd. I had heard that. Yeah, so they've announced when it starts. 3 weeks long, and the live feeds are going to be on Paramount Plus. Yeah, I'm excited about that. And then finally, Lawrence is saying, heard Kellyanne Conway will be on Celebrity Big Brother. I heard the rumor as well, but I think it's just a rumor so far. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. They're doing what they need to get eyeballs on the screen and all of that. And Kellyanne Conway, politics and all that, but I don't know. I don't want anyone that's so controversial that some people get upset that someone's on there, or other people get happy and they support them just because. I want people that are just going to be fun in there, and she may be. She may be hilarious in there, but yeah, I'd heard the rumor about Kellyanne. I'd heard it is starting February 2nd. I don't think that's a rumor. That's been confirmed. It's only 3 weeks. I can't even imagine. Now, I know they're celebrity. They got better things to do. Their time's precious and all that. But I can't imagine being inside that house for only 3 weeks. After we've been in the house 3 weeks, I think on the 3rd week was when Kimmy went home. That was so early in the program. Now, the good thing about it, now I know they don't start with 16 people. How many do they start with? 10 or something? It's fewer people, it seems like. But also, I think they do their challenges a lot faster than we did. So everything's a little more action-packed, which I would love. It would have been great. There was, as I told Mark a little while ago, there's so much downtime. It would have been great if we had 2 evictions a week and had two HOHs, 2 veto competitions. If every single day there was something like that going on, that would have been pretty cool. But that's not what Big Brother wants. The producers want us in there bored and starting to snap at each other and creating all the drama and everything else. So Lord, I was in there for 93 days. I still think about that number and think, how in the world? That is so long to be away from the rest of the world. and dealing with that life inside that house. But yeah, so I don't know who's going to be out this season. I'm really excited to see and to find out. I hope, even though they're celebrities, I hope they get some true Big Brother fans. I know there's people like Neil Patrick Harris, or I think Lance Bass. There's people like that. Is it Rihanna who's a big fan as well? I mean, I know there's celebrities who are huge Big Brother fans, but I don't see them agreeing to go on the program either. But who knows? Someone's going to surprise us. I would be so happy. I've loved watching Celebrity Big Brother almost as much as watching regular seasons as well. As Miss Peanut Phantom, strangest food you've ever eaten. Oh wow, that's a tough one because I've been all over the world. I've tried some pretty strange foods. Let's see, strangest food ever. All right, I'll throw one at you. Azerbaijan. I go over there, and as happens sometimes with the people I work with that live there and everything, they want to take me and introduce me to local foods and culture, and I've always been so appreciative. I always absolutely appreciate people who watch out for me and teach me a little bit. But I know at this one in Azerbaijan, or no, I take that back. No, it's in Kazakhstan. I think it was Kazakhstan. Yeah, that's so many. Kazakhstan. They say, all right, no, it was Azerbaijan. Sorry, guys. So they say, we're going to take you, have a little local delicacy. And they take us, and they have some food, meats and vegetables and everything. Nothing too wild. But they brought a drink for me. It's called dough. And it was basically a fermented milk. Picture yogurt that's a lot more solidified, somewhere between yogurt and ice cream. And it's just this weird gelatinous thing that you have as a drink. They have it kind of like a milkshake or something. I don't know. The guys I was with that didn't live there said, yeah, well, good luck, Cliff, on that. Take a sip, but that's all you're going to take. Well, me being the gracious person I am, I said, no, if they ordered it from me, I'm going to try it. So I had as much dough as I could take, but it was an acquired taste. We'll just say it like that. Another strange food I ate when I was over in China, Shekou, which is it's near Hong Kong and everything, but it's part of mainland China. But I was doing work there for a couple of weeks, and I would sit in my office, and there was a person who would bring dumplings every day, just like here we get donuts or kolaches or something. We talk about kolaches. I don't know if y'all know what kolaches are. It's a thing we eat here in Texas, but donuts and things like that. Well, over there, every day they would come in and say, Cliff, we brought some dumplings for you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, here's the thing. They were dumplings, but beyond that, I didn't know if they were pork dumplings, if they were vegetable dumplings, if they were something else dumplings. Every day it was like it was Christmas, Halloween all over again. Opening up your package and trying a few dumplings and trying to decide if it was beef or was it meat or somewhere in between. So yeah, I had some interesting experiences while I was over in China. Because I had to go eat at a restaurant lots of times, didn't have anything in English. So I would just go and just point at a menu and hope that whatever I pointed out turned out to be pretty good. In the Middle East, I had squid ink pizza once, which is kind of cool. Pizza with little squids all over it, and it was all black from all the squid ink. Yeah, it looked gross, but it's actually pretty good. A little chewy, but pretty good. All right, let's talk about some other things. Julia, do you dry your loofahs, shake the seeds out, bleach the fruit? Yeah, pretty much. But I don't, because we have such a long growing season here in Texas. Lots of times I can let them kind of dry on the vines themselves. If you get a freeze before they've ripened out on the limbs, or the vines, you have to cut them, take them inside. Here I can usually let them just dry out there. They actually turn brown and get all dried out before I cut them loose most of the time. There's still a few out there I haven't cut back yet. But once I do that, I'll let them sit inside for a few more weeks so they're completely dried out. Once that's the case, yeah, peel them all. On the outside, it's just skin. And on the inside is the actual loofah sponge itself. Once you peel it off, you have to shake these things. You have to shake them a lot because there are a lot of seeds inside these loofahs. But shake them until I've gotten all the seeds out. And then I don't normally bleach them because I kind of like the way they look just natural. But some people bleach them so they look nice and white and all of that. And every once in a while, if I give some out for Christmas presents, I'll bleach some of them. But for the most part, I just leave them as is. But yeah, it's a little bit of a process, but it's so cool. And then I harvest all those seeds for the next year, and just the process continues over. Although I don't need them anymore, because I let them dry out on the vine. Some of them split open, and these seeds spill out everywhere. And I normally am at the point where I don't even have to plant them the next spring. There's enough seeds that have naturally fallen into the ground. I look out there, next thing you know, they're all sprouting and taking off anyway. So yeah, it's pretty easy, even for someone who doesn't necessarily have a green thumb. They're pretty easy to grow. So it's pretty cool. All right, Chris, your boy. Who would you want to see on Big Brother Heroes versus Villains? Oh, man. Every time y'all ask me who I'd want to see on some kind of returning season, it's tough because there's so many people out there. But it's cool if you do, instead of just winners, you do heroes versus villains, something like that. Oh, who could you get? I mean, there's people. I think of some of the people that are kind of considered villains. Then there's some like Evil Dick. He'll never come back. I don't. They would. I don't think they'd ever let him come back. He's kind of burned some bridges. But I don't know. Rachel Riley, Brittany Haynes. Yeah, it depends on how you define a villain. Because sometimes who I consider a very strategic person, someone who just would absolutely stab you in the back, like Christy from my season. Christy, she would have done whatever it takes. She was a ruthless player, but I don't really consider her a villain. I mean, I feel like she was just playing the game. When I think of villains, I think of someone that just doesn't give a darn for your feelings, and they're just they'll do anything they can to make you mad and all of that. I don't know. I mean, it's almost easier to pick the heroes because I think of people that were a lot of fun to watch on there. Donnie would be one. Johnny Mack. Who else? There's so many. Jason. How do you even start that? I don't know. I'd have to think about that a little bit more. We'll see. Who said Jiffy Pop? Travel the world. Yeah, Jiffy Pop. That's the thing that used to open up aluminum foil popcorn before microwaves and such. MD, the longevity of the game, Big Brother and Survivor, is a key element of the game, and the changes, I don't think, benefit the game. Yeah, I got to agree with you with that. I think there's a couple of things with that. One, if you aren't in there long enough, you don't have a chance to really adapt to the environment. It's what I knew on day 93 was so much more than I knew on day 21, for example. And so, yeah, I do think just in terms of getting the mindset of in that game, longer periods of time help. I also think that when you play longer periods of time, there's more, I don't know, there's more time for your body to kind of, I don't say wear down, but just for everyone to get much more on edge about everything that's going on. There's also much more time to have conversations with people. If Survivor's only 26 days this season, as a result, I feel like, and I haven't been out there on the island, so I'm kind of speaking just with some assumptions, but I feel like if 26 days versus 99 days in the Big Brother house, you don't have nearly as much time to really sit down and develop the relationships that you do if you're in a house for 3.5 months. And so as a result, sometimes I feel like you have a little more focus on strategy and a little less focus on relationships, which doesn't mean relationships don't exist on Survivor, but I just feel like in our situation, there's a whole lot more conversations that take place that don't have anything to do with the game itself. And so you start developing tighter bonds with some people. I mean, we see it. Look at Big Brother 23. They're still so tight with each other, the Cookout Alliance especially, but all of them. They're so tight with each other because of the shared experience, but also just because they spent so much time with each other. Now, part of that may be that on Survivor, even at 26 days, half their time was spent in separate tribes. So they weren't interacting with half the people on the show. Whereas with us, from day 1 to day 99, we're interacting with everyone. But yeah, I agree. The longer time period, I'm not saying it shouldn't be long. I'm not saying that at all. I'm glad it's as long as it is. But while I was in the house, I sure was wishing that we maybe could have trimmed it down just a little bit. That's the viewer in me versus the person inside the house side of me. Give you two different answers on that one. Travel the world. Would rather see a regular season of Big Brother. Well, yeah, I would too. I kind of like, I mean, I like the regular seasons. I like seeing just regular people playing the game. I kind of like seeing people we haven't seen before playing the game. which doesn't mean that I'm not kind of pushing to get a few vets returning every once in a while. Hint, hint, give me a call. But no, I agree with you. I mean, Celebrity Big Brother is just the little stopgap. It's the fill in the waiting time, so we don't go crazy waiting for next summer. Wouldn't it be cool if they did 2 seasons of Big Brother the way they do 2 seasons of Survivor most years? Now, I don't know how I could handle that with all the live feeds and trying to cover it and all of that. That'd be a little tough to do. But yeah, I'd love to see 2 seasons every year, but it's impractical because the season is so long. Because at least Survivor, Jeff and all his crew, they go out there, they film this whole thing. It takes normally a month and a half or so. They get it filmed, and then they come back. And I know there's all kinds of time before the show where they're doing their planning. After the show, they're having to do all their editing and all of that. So I know it's more than just a month and a half, but I do think it's a little easier for them to do their show, package it all up, and then immediately move on to another season in the same year. And you just can't do it with ours. That'd be tough. That'd be real hard. Written Rhyme, do you have Discord? Kind of. I think I've got it. I probably have a name. I've used it before, so I've got a login name. I probably still have it on my phone, but I'm not in the habit of going out there on Discord. Maybe I need to, because every once in a while someone say, "Oh, we're talking about this or that on Discord," but not so much. Clubhouse is another one. I've got Clubhouse, but I don't go out there that often. But maybe I need to. I can't keep up with all these different social media platforms. Mark Taylor, have you been to the Philippines? If so, have you had balut? No, I've never been. Now I know what balut is. I haven't tried it before, but I'd give it a shot. But no, I've never been to the Philippines. The closest I've been to the Philippines is a Filipino food truck that used to stop by where I worked every once in a while. I'd love to. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But no, I never have been there. So put another one on the list. Elisha, where was the most unique place you've ever traveled? Gosh, where would that be? The most unique place. All right, I got one. It's got to be the most unique place. It's actually here in the United States, but it's tough to believe it. Dead Horse, Alaska. It's when I was working in an oil field and I had to fly to Anchorage, then get on an airplane and fly, I don't know, 8 hours or so. I mean, it's a long way. Go up to the very tip, the very farthest northern you could go in Alaska, inside the Arctic Circle, right up there. I don't know, 30 miles from the North Pole or something. A little further than that, but not much. I mean, I was up there. And I was up there in late January, early February as well, which meant the sun didn't rise the whole time I was there. For about an hour every day, you'd see just a little bit of a lighter effect south, where the horizon was. And that was it. I mean, it was dark the whole time. It was blizzards the whole time. I've never been that cold in my entire life. I'd wake up in the morning, call on the phone to the airport, and I don't know why I did that. It's just torture, because they'd come on and say, the temperature is minus 42 degrees. Wind chill makes it feel like minus 95. Yeah, great. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's hop right out of bed and go enjoy that kind of temperature. It was hard. And there's no the only people who live up there are the ones who are working. So I was staying in a camp, I guess, picture 7 or 8 mobile homes just lined up end to end. One of them they've turned into showers. One of them they turned into a cafeteria. 3 or 4 of them were sleeping facilities for everyone. And that was it. And there was nothing to do there. There was one little tiny store, general store and post office that you could go shop at a little bit. 6-pack of Dr. Pepper's was like $20 or something, because everything's so expensive up there. I mean, just the name, Dead Horse, Alaska. That ought to be a pretty good indication of where you're going, right? So yeah, I've been all over. I've been to Russia. I've been to China. I've been to the jungles of Borneo. That was kind of interesting as well, being in that part of the world. But now, Dead Horse, Alaska, maybe is the most unique place I've ever been, because as an old Texan guy, used to the heat. Being up there was tough. Now, I was in Moscow in the wintertime when it was freezing cold too. But at least there, you've seen it in all the movies. It's just what I expected. Standing there in Red Square, seeing St. Peter's, I can't remember, the cathedral there, and the onion domes on, and the snow everywhere, and the ice, and all the people are wearing their bear hats and all, just like you see in Dr. Zhivago and everything else. That was cool, but you didn't feel isolation like I felt up in Dead Horse, Alaska. It's just like practice for being on Big Brother, being in that little freaking place up there. It's cold. It was miserable. All right. Ma saying Vanessa, Miss Fireheart, Steve Moses. Oh yeah, that'd be good too. And Ma, wouldn't Jason be a villain? Yeah, Jason probably would, but I got Jason. Now we're with two different Jasons, right? We got Jason, Jason and Whistlenut, the cowboy, who was what is he? Season 19, wasn't he? With Kevin and everything. Uh, and then you got Jason. What's it? His last name's Roy, right? That was on Big Brother Over the Top, and he was on one other season. The smoked like a chimney. Was a grocery store clerk. Lived in his mom's basement, if I remember. Um, that Jason's the other one. Would he be a villain? Maybe, but I got to say this: he owns Jalapeno Pete's, which is a restaurant just maybe a quarter mile from the CBS studios, and he was the nicest guy in the world. I haven't met him personally. I'd love to, but when my family went out there for finale night to watch the final episode, and then meet me later on that evening and all of that. They didn't have tickets for the theater or for the studio audience to actually watch the finale live. So they looked around trying to find a place. A lot of people said, oh, check out Jason's restaurant, Jalapeno Pete's. They went over there. He was the nicest guy in the world. He treated my family like royalty. So just an incredible person. So if I ever meet him, and I plan to one of these, I'm going to thank him for just being an incredible person he is. But that's just an indication that sometimes the persona you see on some of these people when they're playing the game of Big Brother, it's not what they're like in real life. They're in there knowing that they have to do whatever they can to win and all of that. And so sometimes it's easier to completely distance who you really are and turn it into just a whole different alter ego while you're in there. You remember Survivor? Shan, she talked about every time she was doing something devious, she would do that. She would hum. And that was her way of distancing who she is as a person in the real world from who she was having to be playing the game of Survivor. And so, yeah, I think there's other people like that. But having said that, those choices are all fine choices. I haven't met Stephen Moses yet, but I'd like to. I've talked to him once. We did a little trivia contest online once. But yeah, and Vanessa, I'd love to meet her. She's one of my tops, one of my favorites. All right, MD. Loofahs sound fun to grow. Are they edible before they dry? Supposedly. Yeah, supposedly you can eat them like a cucumber or something. They seem a little starchy to me. I've never tried it because if I want cucumbers, I'll go buy cucumbers instead of the loofahs. But hey, I know people do it, especially over in Asia and some places like that. So yeah, you can do it, but not just grow it because it's fun and it's so easy. Let's see, Jake the Snake. What's your favorite Christmas song? Ooh, now you're putting me on edge. There may be a couple. One is let's see, White Christmas. I like it because I used to be able to sing it. Oh yeah, I used to be able to sing it in Spanish. I'll probably go Jingle Bells just because casca bells, lindo, casca bells, con sus notas de alegría van enciendo el hey. I can. There's a couple of songs I can sing in Spanish, so I always kind of like those. You know what my favorite is? Probably there's two of them, and they're both kind of quiet and reflective songs. One is the Little Drummer Boy. Especially you get that Bing Crosby and David Bowie version. I just love that song. And it's just nice and quiet and just makes you think and everything. And the other one is Babes in Toyland or Toyland, Joyland, every other than Boyland. I like that one because when my kids were little, that was one of the lullabies that we would play while we were putting them to sleep during the Christmas season. And so I always connect that particular song with my kids when they were very little and enjoying Christmas for their first few years and all of that. So those are maybe my favorites. Now, a good old grandma got run over by the reindeer. It's kind of fun as well, but I like the very classic songs for the most part. All right, let's see what else. Travel the World. Survivor finale is next Wednesday. A 3-hour episode. I didn't know that. Lord, I've been doing the Survivor recaps. If you haven't watched them, I try to drop them every Wednesday night. Typically, it's more like Thursday by the time I get them done. But it's hard enough to get those episodes squeezed into a little 20, 30 minutes. It's more like 30-minute recaps when I do them. 3 hours. I'm going to be talking for an hour and a half next week after that one. I knew the finale was coming up, but I did not know it was that long. They've squeezed so much in so far, so why shouldn't I be surprised? I don't know what I'm going to do once Survivor's over. I'm not going to really have anything else. I'm recapping right then. I got to pick something else. My daughter keeps saying I need to do RuPaul's Drag Race next season they have, so maybe I'll look at something a little different like that. But I don't know. We'll figure something else out. Before long, I'm going to have Celebrity Big Brother, so that'll certainly keep me busy and all that. And maybe Canadian Big Brother. Problem is, I don't have a good. It's hard for me to get the live feed sometimes on a Canadian, so I've never really covered them that much. But yeah, we'll see. I'll figure something out. Chris, your boy. If you made it to Final 3 and won the final HOH, who would you have taken had Nicole gotten voted out the week before? So if it was just me and Mickey and Holly in the Final 3, there is zero question, zero probability that I have taken Jackson Mickey to the Final 2. Not a chance in the world. Now, if it's the three of us, I'm taking Holly without hesitation because I felt like, not that she didn't play a great game. She did, but her game was so much more under the radar that, yeah, I would have taken Holly and maybe I would have paid the price. She had friends on the jury. She had a lot of people who would have voted for her. And so maybe that was a little dangerous, but I can't picture taking Mickey as many competitions as he had won. It just would have seemed so dangerous. And if it'd been the Final 3 and if Holly had won and it was up to her to decide whether to take Mickey or myself, that would have been tough too, because I would have spent so much time saying, he's going to beat you every single time, right? Which he did, as it turns out. I would have been doing everything possible to convince her to take me instead. I probably would have made Mickey nine kinds of angry and red by the end of that thing, because I would have been talking about every reason that he didn't need to be in that Final 2. He was too dangerous. I felt like Jackson Mickey and Tommy Bracco were the two people that I absolutely did not want to be sitting next to in a Final 2, because I really felt like I would lose to either one of them. Now, that's not to say that I had a few points that I'd saved up and things I was thinking of that I was going to mention and try to sell myself. And I'm not saying that I would have lost to either one of them, but I think it would have been very risky to go to a Final 2 with either one of those. So no, I would have taken Holly without hesitation. I just can't picture a situation where I could have ever been convinced to do it otherwise. There's just no way. He was too strong, too powerful, too much of a resume by the end of that thing. All right, Amanda Lowe, which comp were you most nervous about? Oh, well, it probably was that Final 4 after Nicole had won the HOH, and I knew that I had to win that veto because I knew there was a good chance if Mickey won that thing or Holly, either one, that they weren't going to keep me. They were going to keep each other. It's not that I hoped that I could convince them otherwise, and I hoped they were going to keep their promise, but I didn't really think that was much of a certainty. So that was probably the one that I was most nervous about, just because I knew that I had the most riding on the line on that particular competition. Other ones that I was really nervous about, I was nervous about the one Crimea River, which Tommy ended up winning, because I knew that if he or Sis, several other people, I knew if they won, I was going on the block. That was one of those weeks where I just absolutely knew I was a target. And so that one I was a little nervous about because I knew I really needed to win that. I didn't. And I survived. Unfortunately, Kat went home that week, which I didn't want. I really wanted to work with Kat and Jessica and Nicole and carry us 4 all the way to the end. But it didn't work out. There's a few competitions I was nervous about just because I didn't think I was going to do that well on, like the slip and slide. Man, I'm sitting right next to Mickey watching him run back and forth like a cheetah. And I'm just trying to keep my feet underneath me. There's some I knew I wasn't going to win. The wall competition, I kind of thought that I maybe wasn't going to win it, but I wasn't that nervous because I was so excited about doing it. I thought it was going to be so much fun doing that competition. I'll give y'all one more that I was really nervous about going into it, and that is a competition. It was during my HOH, and it turned out to be Take It Off, where we had to sit on the jet ski and take our clothes off while holding buttons down, which was it was one of my favorite competitions. But for some reason, going into it, I really thought it was going to be an eating competition, like eating horrible mixtures of food, sardine milkshakes and things like that. There's just something that made me think that was about the right time of the season to do a competition like that. And so I was trying to do everything I could to prepare myself mentally for having to eat horrific foods and doing things like that. So I was incredibly nervous going into that veto competition. Well, then I got out there and I saw a jet ski and I said, yeah, this is my competition. I'm all for this. I didn't win, but that was absolutely probably my favorite competition. Other than OTEV, just getting to play OTEV was cool. But in terms of actually the way we played it, the jet ski was pretty cool. All right, let's see. Jake the Snake, or let's see, Donna and Porter Gage. Besides being Southern, what nationality are you? Have you visited the countries of your ancestors? Yeah, different on my dad's side, pretty much pure English. The Hogg family, Northern England, as best I can determine. 3 Hogg brothers came over to Virginia in the 1760s, I think. One of the brothers came to Texas after a little while. One of them stayed in Virginia. One of them went to Tennessee. My side of the family comes from Tennessee. So I've got a lot of English in me. But then on my mom's side, I've also got a lot of Scottish. And that's my dad's side too, is Scottish. That's kind of everywhere that my family's from. Southern Scotland, Northern England is our primary heritage. And so I tend to say my most direct nationality is Scottish. I'm proud to claim a little Scottish blood in me. So there you go. But on my mom's side, I also have a lot of German and Czechoslovakian. My grandmother on my mom's side was Czechoslovakian. My dad on my mom's side was German. So, what's that work out to? I don't know, one quarter Czech, one quarter German, and the other half Scottish, something along those lines. So yeah, and I've been Germany. I've only been there as far as changing airports. I've never been to Czechoslovakia, but spent all kinds of time in Scotland. Love it. One of my favorite places to go. Even though I can't understand half the people once they start speaking that Scottish brogue and all that, but yeah, I love Scotland. The hills, the Highlands, just beautiful over there. All right, what else do we have? Jake the Snake would like to see me and Donnie come back for another season of Big Brother and form a strong alliance. I guarantee you, Donnie and I are playing together. I'm doing whatever I can to work with that guy and make it work. And the problem is everyone would expect us to work together, but that's okay. I'd do it anyway, because how could I work against him? I can't ever see a situation where I'd be actively trying to get Donnie out the door, unless it's down to the final 2 or 3, and then you do whatever it takes. I haven't met Donnie yet, but I really want to. And that's one. And Hearts of Reality is coming up. And let me just sorry, 7:50. Let me say real quick, Hearts of Reality coming up. I'm heading out there Thursday. I'm gonna spend all weekend there. It is gonna be so much fun meeting all these other reality people. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone that's in my cast. Now, not everyone's coming, but 10, 11 other people from season 21 are going to be there. I'm looking forward to seeing almost the entire cast of season 23. I've already talked to a lot of them, and I'm just looking forward to saying hello and congratulations. There's some other ones. Kevin Schlubber from Big Brother, I'm looking forward to seeing. Rick Devens from Survivor, I can't wait to see him, and Ben from Survivor. Some of the Amazing Race people are going to be there. Will and James, congratulations as well. They just got married, but they're going to be there. Leo from the last season of Amazing Race is going to be there. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the Amazing Race folks as well. It is going to be so much fun, and especially knowing that we're raising all the funds for Give Kids a World Village. I'm just really excited. And as I say that, and I was going to do this earlier in the show, and I forgot to, but I want to do it. Let me just send out a special thanks to 2 people, Angie Hung and Heather Bryson, 2 people who donated to my Give Kids a World fundraiser. There's a page just for me, for my donations, and they both donated out there. Thank you both so much for doing it. Now, Heather's over in South Korea, so I don't think she watches this live. She watches a little bit later. But Heather, thank you so much. I absolutely do appreciate it. And for any of the rest of y'all, if you got the chance and little extra pocket change, I'm going to post the link to Give Kids the World, the fundraising page. And I'd love for you to, if you're able, only if you're able, if you can donate. It's an amazing charity. It's so fantastic. And I'm so looking forward to going out there. They're going to be sitting around the pool on Saturday. And I think Janet from Survivor is going to be hosting fire starting challenges. So all of us who are Survivor wannabes can see how quickly we can build fire just like they do on the show and compete against each other. It's just going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to, I did a fundraiser for coffee. I'm going to meet someone and have coffee with them, raise a little money doing that. We're also going to be playing miniature golf. Tommy and Christy and Nicole and myself are going to go with two guests and play a couple of rounds of miniature golf. I'm a bit of a pro at miniature golf. We'll talk about that next week, perhaps. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. All right, my mom. Is my mom out here? Yeah, I missed you, Mom. If I say, but she's saying that that German on my mom's side. Yeah, I said that, didn't I? The German and Czechoslovakian on my mom's side. If I didn't clarify, yeah, that's on that side. Mark Taylor. Did the Aggies get a bowl bid? Yeah, of course they did. Michigan is number 2. Go Blue. And Michigan is playing Georgia, right? That's going to be quite the battle. And Alabama's playing Cincinnati. I think Bama and Cincinnati are playing in Arlington, my hometown. Michigan and Georgia are playing. Where do they play? Is that the Fiesta Bowl this year? I don't remember. But yes, to answer your question, the Aggies got a bowl bid as well. Not necessarily quite the level that your Wolverines got, but we're going to be playing in the tax play. It's a Gator Bowl. I think they call it the Tax Slayer or something. But it's the Gator Bowl. We're playing against Wake Forest. We played them back in 2017 in the bowl game, so this is a little bit of a revisit to that particular game. But yeah, we're playing the Battling Deacons or whatever they call themselves. Yeah, I won't be there, but I will certainly be watching it. I think it's New Year's Eve at like 11 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So we'll be ready. It wasn't quite the season I expected, but hey, it's just like Big Brother. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. It's all about the fun of watching, the entertainment value anyway, right? So there you go. All right, let's see what else we got here. Mark, will you give us notes of lots of Hearts of Reality pictures? Yeah, I'm planning to take as many pictures as I can because I'm gonna be fanboying so much. They're gonna be saying, "Cliff, what are you doing?" Because I'm just gonna be going around the whole time with the camera, doing nothing but taking pictures of everyone that's there. My jaw will just be dropped the whole time. Oh my God, I saw you on TV. Oh my gosh, I saw you on Netflix. I'm gonna have fun. It's gonna be interesting. I may do it the same way I do Big Brother. I may get up early in the morning, go down and get breakfast early in the morning when I'm the only person there, and then just sit back by the pool and just watch everyone else come filtering down. I have a feeling some of them may be filtering down a little bit later than others because they do all kinds of parties at night and everything. They've got Friday night, they got a private party with DJ Joe and karaoke or something. So I may have to come. I may have to practice some of my karaoke tunes as well. Yeah, I'll try to take plenty of pictures, and I'll certainly give you all kinds of updates when I get back as well. Rick Cat Ranch, Arlington, Texas. Yeah, Arlington, Texas is my hometown. That's where I grew up. Born in Fort Worth, lived there for a while, and then lived in Arlington the rest of my life. I still got plenty of family there. So yeah, Arlington is now that's where I grew up. I live in Houston now. I've been in Houston for 26 years or so, but grew up in Arlington. So yeah, that's my hometown. I missed the part of that. Where you grew up as well. Okay. Well, congrats. Howdy, neighbor. Welcome aboard. That Arlington has changed a lot from when we first moved there in 1974 to now. A lot bigger city, right? And that stadium, Jerry World, and now they got between baseball and football, I got 3 or 4 stadiums all sitting over there. It's huge, everything that's gone on with that. So yeah, but howdy, neighbor. All right, 7:59. This goes so fast, guys. But thank you again for coming out here. Have a blast. Welcome to December. I hope you got most of your Christmas shopping done because we're getting real close to it. I'll tell y'all some Christmas stories, shopping stories, and things like that next week or the week following. Like I say, between now and Christmas, I figure we'll do all kinds of Christmas stuff. But before I cut off, let me just, as I've said before, and please, if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please do so because it makes it so much easier when you find out, especially as we're getting down to Survivor, and I may start doing some other recaps and coverage and things like that. Please click wherever it says to subscribe on there and sign up for my channel. Hitting the like button, it certainly is appreciated as well. But you know what? More than anything else, I just appreciate y'all being out here and supporting me with your viewership. It means so much to me. Thank you so much. It's so cool getting to do this every Monday night. So with that, let me shut it down with a final old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all out here. Y'all have a fantastic Monday. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Stay warm if you're up north. Stay cool if you're down south. But have fun as we build up to the Christmas holidays. And for those of you celebrating Hanukkah, we're already into the Hanukkah. So happy Hanukkah to you guys, and happy Merry Christmas and happy Kwanzaa to the rest of y'all out there. And until then, guys, have a great one. Cheers, my friends. Bye. See y'all later. See y'all next Monday for the next Cliff Notes, or Wednesday or Thursday when I drop the next Survivor episode. Cheers, my friends. Bye.